Hello, my name is Lucas, this is Bit of Lit, and I'm here to talk about Moment in Peking, which is by uh, Lin Yutang, I believe is how you say his name. I've actually not finished the whole book because there are three parts. Let's get a picture. Here's a traditional cover, I believe. And yeah, well, I read The Daughters of a Taoist. I have not yet read Tragedy in the Garden or The Song of Autumn, but I'm really enjoying it so far, and I figured why not break it down a little bit, because I need to take a small break from reading this, because as much as I am enjoying it, I can only handle reading about aristocratic Chinese dramas for so long. That said, it's still excellent. The Daughters of a Taoist focuses on a few different families that we see them at the beginning of this book. The Boxer Rebellion in China is happening, and in my opinion, it has an impact on the story, most certainly, especially right at the very beginning when the family is trying to escape any trouble in Beijing, or Peking, I mean. And then they lose their child, and she just goes missing, unfortunately. And their child is found by not good people. Let's just say this woman is very much willing to trade young girls for certain services for money. Anyway, luckily for her, she is found by sort of family friends, another family that knows her family, and they get her, and this sort of ignites their relationship with each other a little bit more, and then we follow them from there. And the politics of the time, while ever present in a sense and always impacting what's going on, they do sort of take a back seat in terms of what we focus on. We get reminders of what's going on with the emperor, or the emperors, and the empress dowager, and these kind of things. Every so many chapters, just to keep us in touch with what is going on during the years that Daughters of a Taoist takes place. But most of the time we just see these families living in their times, their ever-changing times, trying to adapt, trying to make sense of what's going on in their family, and what they can do to continue to prosper, because we are following well-off families. And anyway, it is a really dramatic book. The best book I can currently relate it to, I would say, would be Dream of the Red Chambers, which is a Chinese classic. It is regularly referred to. The characters are always talking about different scenes in that book. That's one of my favorite books of all time, and that's fantastic. It's an ancient, I think it's one of the 4 major Chinese works, but I don't think it's that old compared to some of the others that are in that. I don't know for sure. I think it's the newest one. I can't remember. But anyway, they're always talking about it. It certainly feels exactly like that book in many respects, with the way we see just these subtle nuances in the characters making decisions. Sometimes they go against sort of the conventional wisdom of the time, and that upsets people in the family, and then they sort of, really start to change on their own, and become so focused on their own decisions that breaks the family in some ways. I mean, there's marriages, there's deaths, there's betrayals, There's just disparaging your own children for disparaging you, making you lose face, making them lose face. There's issues of class in a way, because there's some characters that most of them are well off, but then there's the servants who are from less well off families. They're on contract or bought outright or whatever. And it's just very interesting insight into the changing times of China, because we see these characters that they're always talking about, Mencius and Confucius and their ideologies, but the main family we focus on is a Taoist, and I actually don't know much about Taoism. I have some books, but I haven't yet read them. I have read Mencius and Confucius, and I can see where they are struggling with some of these things that were still more influential, but I can also see probably how they are struggling with Taoism and how it's affecting, especially the father, who is anyway. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I would say, although I have not read the other two, I think I will continue to love the other two parts, but I would not get this edition because it has some typos. That's about it. I really like these family drama books set in older times in China. I think that's always really good fun. I can only handle so much of it because they are just obscenely wealthy. I mean, there's this one kid in one of the families that's meant to go to England to study, and then for one reason or another, he is a disappointment in the family after all. He sticks around in Hong Kong and starts spending his money like crazy. He gets gambling debts and has fallen in love with one of the servants who was on a 10-year contract to serve, and the mother really doesn't like her because she feels like she's trying to pull her son away from her. And man, the fight between these two, not to mention, I mean, that's like in the middle of the Daughters of a Taoist. There's, of course, the Boxer Rebellion part right in the beginning, which is where it mostly plays a prominent role. Then we just get little bits here and there. And then there's Mania and Pina, who are set to get married, and I didn't really care about that part that much, but it has an unfortunate end result. But also, I mean, the things that they're thinking about and how they're sort of the mindset of the characters with these changing times, and the customs and their own desires, and how those all sort of conflict with each other. I do think that part was well done. I just don't really care for young love in these kind of books. It just doesn't interest me. But anyway, that's really interesting to see the characters like struggle with all the pressures of change and custom and these kind of things, which we continue to see with the son, who's a disappointment, gets that girl pregnant, and then just tragedy. And then the other girls are set to marry, but they are marrying basically the wrong people. They are interested in another person that they know, but man, young love. Anyway, so far, Moment in Peking is really great. Daughters of Taoist. I'm looking forward to the next part, but currently I'm trying to read Spock Messiah, which is, I guess, the second Star Trek novel to be published, and it is it's a breath of fresh air in a way, but it is a terrible book. It is horrendously bad, but we will probably talk about that tomorrow. So thank you. Goodbye.